Welcome back to Rhino JFR Tools tutorial. Today, I'm going to share a ring design case created with Rhino JFR. Let's get started with today's learning right away. Now, let's start making this ring. First, observe the structure of this ring. The flower head part needs to be divided into multiple components for easier production. So we need to make the positioning of the connection points. Move the reference image to the top left corner. Then lock it using the JFR layer. Create a gemstone from the gem library. A diameter of about 4.2 millimeters should be fine. Then use the one-layer collets tool to create the collet for the gemstone. We need to adjust the position and size of the collet. The width should be around 0.7 millimeters, and the thickness should be about 1 millimeter. Adjust the bevel of contact with the stone here. Smooth the bottom and narrow it. Now the collet is done. The next step is to create the prongs for the gemstone. The prongs should have a bud-like shape, with the bottom parts gathered together. Draw a curve using Simple Curve. Then click on the JFR pipe tool. A diameter of about 0.9 millimeters will be sufficient. Rotate the prong by -45 degrees. The generated prongs can be moved up or down using the JFR Move tool in the object's coordinate direction. Four-quadrant mirror. Now the setting is complete. Here, the setting is made of yellow gold and the petals of white gold, so the two parts can't touch too much. Referring to the dimensions in the image, the petals are about 14 millimeters. I would make it a little bit larger than the original, like make it 14.2 millimeters. The final product will be about 14 millimeters after processing. Draw the rail curve for the petals using the horizontal mirror curve tool. Vertical mirror. Find the polar array tool and array all the petals first. Use the Move and Scale tools to quickly adjust to the correct size. Finally, leave only the rail curve of one petal. Adjust it individually. Use the Bend tool to shape the curve of the petal. And open the control points for further adjustment. Next, use the vertical mirror curve tool to draw the petal's profile. It should have a raised and recessed effect. Do the same for the bottom to improve the appearance of the bottom details and control metal weight. The thickness should be around 0.8 millimeters. If it's thinner, it can be about 0.7 millimeter. The petal texture should transition in depth, so I'm going to use two profiles to achieve this. Use the dual rail tool. Click the first profile. Select control point number 1 and then click the second profile. Continue with the same method until point number 4. Finally, Use the flattened profile. The direction of the generated shape is reversed, so rotate it vertically and generate it. Since we turned on gather earlier, we can use make uniform to smooth the petal. Then use scale to make the end thinner. The center of the flower should be slightly elongated. Here's a detail I want to share. Generally, the closer you get to the petal's end, the smoother it should be. This makes the petal transition look better. Make the end more pointed. Use polar array to duplicate 8 petals. The central parts are overlapping, so we need to narrow the parts near the center. Narrow it, then duplicate again. Now the first layer is complete. Rotate it by 22.5 degrees. To close the center of the flower head, we need to seal it, as this will help with positioning. Thin them slightly to reduce contact with the setting. Then rearray the 8 petals and rotate them 22.5 degrees. Hide the curve. The central hole needs to be smaller. Use the lasso points tool to select the central control points. Use JFR move to move them toward the center. Then use JFR scale to narrow them slightly. Now, create a circle curve with a 2 mm diameter. Surface from planar curves. Extrude it to make a solid. For easier production and processing, this setting has to be detached separately. The bottom of the prongs can be attached and fixed using a square tube. Create a 1x1 square. Extrude it into a square tube. Connect it to the prongs. Place it on a separate layer for easier management. Next, I will explain another use of the polar array tool. Turn off Fix 360 degree. Rotate by 22.5 degrees and set the number of copies to 2. This petal can directly be used to make the second layer. The diameter of the second layer needs to be slightly larger than the first layer, around 15.2 millimeters. Right-click and scale it slightly. Delete the control point. Then adjust the shape. Create a shape that grows outward from the center. Adjust the control point direction to make the lines flow more smoothly. I usually complete the overall shape of the ring first and then refine the details. This helps improve the efficiency of modeling. In production, the square tube of the setting will pass through the bottom of the petals for welding and fixing. Adjust the overall shape of the flower head to make it look more harmonious. Thin the petals a bit more. Make the petals slightly sharper. Now the flower head of the ring is ready. Place it on top. Create a circle with ring size. Offset the ring shank thickness by 1.7 millimeters. Move it upwards by 0.4. Right-click on this icon to duplicate the circle curve in place. And lock it. Use a straight line to trim off half. This is the first rail curve. Then offset the second rail curve. Scale the control point inward according to the reference curve. Connect it to the flower head. Generally, the curve for the ring shank is already available in the JFR database. However, since this is a tutorial, I have to demonstrate how to create the ring shank's rail curve. The bottom of the ring head has a bridge, and the thickness is usually around 0.8 millimeters. Based on the thickness of the bridge, I can determine the height of the entire ring head. Once the height is set, the connection point for the shank is also determined. Next, draw the rail curve for the bridge at the bottom of the ring head. Offset it by 0.8 millimeters. I'm going to create the ring shank first. Draw the profile. Create the bulge. For the other profile, make the bottom curved as well. This is to ensure the inner side of the shank has a slight arc for better comfort when worn. Click on the first profile. Switch the direction. Generally, the inner arc should only extend to the middle of the shank. Therefore, multiple profiles are needed. Remember to switch to open when generating the shank. To adjust the degree of the inner arc, just modify the profile. Show the control points and adjust the shape of the shank. Then use the taper tool to create a wider top and a narrower bottom. Next, create the bridge in the middle. Use the dual rail tool to generate it. Follow the ring shank shape to make adjustments and join it up. Make a little curvature here. Mirror it left and right to check the effect. Merge the middle part. Add a row of control points to make adjustments easier. Fine-tune the connection position. Finally, adjust the overall shape to make the ring look more balanced. Use JFR Flip to preview the effect in real time. Make the petals slightly thinner. The petals could be sharper. Delete them, then rearray. The flower head is a bit higher now, so lower the overall height a bit. Now, the design of the ring is complete. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching this far. If this video was helpful to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to us. See you next time.